Have you ever had one of those mornings where you wake up and you're already tired? I mean, the type where your peace is little compared to the to-do list that you have. And before 9 a.m., you've made the mistake of already snapping on your kids and your loved ones and maybe feel guilty after. I know, I've been there. You're not the only one. And what I've come to realize is that when we're drained and exhausted and frustrated, it is felt and our words can cut bricks. Hi, I'm Fatima. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are coming back, welcome back to the community. Today, I'm going to be talking about the power of our words as it relates to how we talk to ourselves, how we talk to God, and how we talk to others. It is important that we do this as women because we are the emotional thermostat in our homes, and we have the power to do so. God spoke the world into existence, and it's important that we remember that the power of our words have the energy to create life and death. And unfortunately, when we are tired and exhausted, it creates chaos. When we're at peace, the atmosphere feels it. I have a couple of notes. The power that we've often forgotten is that we as women are the thermostat for our homes. That doesn't mean that we're completely responsible for everyone's emotions, but it does mean that because we have this power, that we carry such a large influence that if we're burdened and frustrated, that translates into energy. And if we are in a place where we feel good and calm, that also translates into energy. Think of the you being the one who can set the emotional temperature. When you're speaking words of love, of nourishment, of kindness, of generosity, of joy, the temperature elevates and raises. It gets nice and warm. It feels good. It feels cozy to be there. But when you're frustrated, when you're anxious, when you're overworked and overwhelmed, the temperature drops. It becomes cold and frigid. And what do people do when it's cold? They start to put on more layers, more clothes, more blankets. And the reason that they're doing this, I like to think of it like protection. People now have to protect themselves. And that's not a place where vulnerability and transparency and growth can really thrive. It doesn't thrive in that type of in a rigid atmosphere or environment. Check this out. Research from Dr. John Gottman, who is a relationship psychologist, shows that tone and language predict relational stability more than the content of the argument. What does that mean? It means that people hear your tone and hear your words more than they actually hear the content and the context of your words. I remember years ago, I was having a conversation with a leader of mine and they were yelling at me and I could not remember what they were actually saying. I only heard their tone. I often say if I ever in a situation, I said, I can't hear past your tone, meaning I'm in a defensive place and I'm not able to hear what you're saying because I want to understand, but I can't understand you because your tone is so loud. Another point, Harvard studies on emotional contagion, emotional disease, show that moods and words spread biologically through mirror neurons. What's a mirror neuron? It's a type of neuron that fires when a person performs an action or observes one. Have you ever been in a situation where you observe an argument? You observe someone and it causes you stress. Maybe you're not as stressed, but it causes you stress when you see it. On the flip side, have you been the one that's in the argument and now you're feeling the stress? That's a part of mirror neurons. You don't have to necessarily be in the situation, but the atmosphere and just the witnessing and the environment of it can create this reaction of stress within your own body. And what I'm saying is your words create the atmosphere, whether you're speaking to or around someone, people feel that. They feel your stress, but they also feel your peace. And that is backed by science. My next point, the root of why this happens, if you're curious, the root is not that we're bad people. So I'm not on here to give you this criticism and condemn you because likely you probably already felt guilty as I have when things like this have come up. But the piece is that when we're often exhausted, unsupported, and we're trying to control everything, sound familiar? We don't leave room and opportunity to trust. We don't leave room and opportunity for people to give us help. When you say it's easier if I just go ahead and do it, but you haven't eaten your vitamins, you haven't rested, you haven't drank your water, you haven't done the things to nourish yourself, you're doing it and you're running on fumes. So when you ask your partner or someone, hey, can you take that trash out? And then for whatever reason they forget, you're not just responding to the fact that they forgot to take the trash out. You're responding to all the moments that you have not felt supported, that you haven't felt heard, that you haven't felt seen. It builds up energetically, those emotions they build up energetically. And that takes away from you being able to create the atmosphere in your environment and in your home. One of the things are we cannot pour living water into a well that is depleted. Even Jesus withdrew. Even Jesus needed to withdraw, and that's okay. He needed to rest as well. And in order for us to do that, we can model the same. My next point, the consequences when our words create chaos. The same way that God created and formed light, those words form energy. When we speak fear, when we speak criticism, when we speak comparison, they create a total energy and a dynamic and a presence that is not conducive for growth. It's like a poison that's in the atmosphere. The consequences of this emotionally, you feel guilty, you feel ashamed, you feel self-critical, and you start to blame yourself. The emotions, it brings the energy down. Relationally, your children shut down and maybe your loved ones withdraw. Physically, studies show that negative talk increases your cortisol, which is stress. It weakens immunity and delays your healing. So if you're dealing with some type of sickness, consider the words that you're speaking. I'm not saying that's the full breadth of what it could be, but consider the words that you're actually speaking. Could it be different? Your words create your environment. That's not just your external environment, that's your internal environment in terms of your health as well. And spiritually, it distances us from actually receiving the level of love that God has for us. My fourth point, how do you transform your words and your energy? You transform your mornings. It's like, Fatima, thank you for telling me all these things about my stress, about how I'm talking. How do we change it? One of the things that I love doing and that I've been practicing is transforming my mornings. So before you speak in the morning, before you get up, choose in the morning to pray, to journal, and to listen. And you can pray in your mind. Talk to God before you talk to anyone else. Tell those in the home, hey, when I first wake up, I'm not immediately going into the to-do list. I'm not immediately going into all the other things. Talk to me about that the night before so we're clear on a plan. But in the mornings, talk to God. Ideally, between the hours of 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. seem to be the best. Now, you can talk to God anytime, but before the world wakes up or even your house wakes up, having that moment of silence truly it has transformed my life. It has really changed many things for me. Neuroscience backs this as well. Early morning silence calms the amygdala, which is the stress center, and resets your nervous system. The second thing is to nourish your body. Take your vitamins, drink your water. Look, I'm about to take some now. It's good. Get you a water bottle. Have that around all the time. I got my water bottle around, okay? And when you're actually sleeping, it also your frontal cortex, the part that helps you respond versus react, that is reset as well. So that's important because when situations happen and stress happens outside, especially outside of your control, you need to be in a position to be able to respond, not just read. That goes back to creating the atmosphere. The other piece is boundaries. Yes. Remove yourself from stressful environments and people that take your energy. Remove yourself from stressful environments and people that are taking your energy. It is a great practice to steward your peace. It's not avoidance. If you see something and hear something, continuous patterns in environments, it is okay to find a way to create and remove yourself from those places, especially if you've already confronted it and addressed it, and to create an environment for yourself where you can steward your peace better. The last portion of this, take your vitamins, B vitamins, magnesium, omega 3s. They support brain chemistry, support patience, and also increase your focus. So these are physical things as well as emotional and spiritual things that you can do. The next piece that you can do is practice grace and truth. Grace doesn't mean that you tolerate disrespect. It means that you respond with grace and love without matching the energy. We're not avoiding and we're not hiding anything here. We're able to confront and say, what's up? What's going on with this? But the way that we do it is with grace. It's with understanding that people, hurt people, but heal people. So we confront situations. And when I say confront, I don't mean fight. I mean, we're not backing down from it. We're 10 toes down in it. But the way that we deliver it is with grace. The way that we deliver it is with truth. Hey, I noticed that some things may be bothering you. What's really going on? And what have I done to contribute to that? Are there things that I can be doing differently? What's really happening? Being curious about what's happening with someone. Normally, people are responding from stress, from fear, from inadequacy, from insecurity. Rarely is it really you. It's just you that's triggering them. Being curious, but responding with grace and truth. Oh, I like this one. Delegate and detach from perfection. You do not need to do it all. And I understand that you have a certain way that you like things. And if you give it to somebody else, it's not going to be done the same way that you do it. I get it. An example of this is I had my partner who I said, "Hey, I want you to make the bed." And I have 50, 11 pillows on my bed. And I just love that's just how I do things. I like carpet lines as well. And the carpet I can be particular, right? He made up the bed. Were all the pillows in the same spot? That no, all the pillows were not there. They he tried and it was good. And I'm so happy that I did that because he felt good and he gets better every time that I give him the opportunity to do it. Think of things like a symphony, your home like a symphony. You can't be the only one playing all the instruments. The reason it's a symphony is because there are other instruments that are playing. It's okay to give other people, even if they don't do it exactly as you may have done it, giving them a chance to contribute because they actually want to. And you can't achieve harmony with just one sound. You achieve harmony over multiple sounds. So allow other people to help you. You ain't got to do it all, baby girl. You don't. And they will enjoy doing it. Give them the opportunity to support you. You're worthy of it, and so are they. Point number 5. Here's our spiritual layer. We're going to add in some spirit. Our words must rise to God's standard of love. I'm calling this out because I too have fallen short. That's why I'm making this video. We need to join in together. We need to all rise to a new level of standard. When you know that you're loved, your words can come from the overflow when you're speaking to others. You do not speak in fear. You speak in a fullness because you understand who and whose you are and where the power is really coming from. Here's some scripture for you. Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Look these up on your own. Proverbs 15:4. Gentle words bring life and health. Life and health. That's beautiful. I even heard recently that illness is with an I, so just you doing things, but wellness has we. So change your illness from the I and you always doing it to we, and you'll be able to have more wellness and allowing other people to do that. I think I heard that, and the lady said it was from Malcolm X. Somebody said that, but we can go and find who it is. But I love that, and I wanted to bring that here. So gentle words bring life and health. A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. That's the power of the words. Last one, Mark 11:14-23. Jesus spoke to the fig tree and it withered. If words can curse a tree, what can your words do to the spirit of your child or your loved ones? What is your frustration causing? What is the consequence, the intended and unseen consequence that is happening in your family's life because of your words? But here's the thing. If your words are so powerful that it can cause this type of reaction in your family, it also says in the word that Jesus said, if you speak to that mountain and you tell it to move and you have no doubt in your heart and you forgive everybody and you believe that this is exactly what, like, to speak to it as though it were, it is done. So if you want to speak peace, if you want to speak that environment, if you want to speak that healing, if you want to speak that life into your children, into yourself, into your partner, understand it is done when you speak it and when you believe it. That is the power of your word. And another piece, if you ever read this book called The Four Agreements, always there's a rule in here. The first one, actually, be impeccable with your word. I'm going to read this to you. Why your word? Your word is the power that you have to create. Your word is the gift that comes directly from God. Through the word, you manifest your intent, regardless of what language you speak. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are, all will be manifested through the word. The word is a force. It is a power you have to communicate, to think, and thereby to create the events in your life. The word is the most powerful tool you have. But like a sword with two edges, your word can create the most beautiful dream, or your word can destroy everything around you. The power of your word. And the last point, the reframe, your integration. As women, we are genetically and spiritually inclined and created to create peace, order in our homes. Again, I'm not saying that this responsibility can't be for other people, for like the other people in your home, but we are built for it, is what I'm saying. We are built for it. The level of influence that we have as women is incredible. Yes, we know that influence when it's in the workplace because most high achieving women have businesses, are top performers at their job, executive level positions. I get it. But we need to translate that same level of power that we have in our business, in our home. It doesn't look the same way. It looks nourishing, but it looks a little different in our home. That same energy is translated into our home. Understand that. Be a woman that creates the atmosphere in her own life in the life of her family, in the life of her home. And when this happens, our partners feel safe to go do what they need to do. Our men feel empowered and inspired and spoiled. Our children feel good and healthy, especially in this world, y'all. Like, it's a beautiful world. It's a lot happening, and it's still a beautiful world. It depends on how you speak your world into existence. But it all starts with a rested, nourished, and disciplined mouth. I'm not saying that it's easy, because if it were, we would all be doing it. But what I'm saying is that we're built for it. And in the times that you fall short, forgive yourself and understand that grace is sufficient for you. And you can start again, reflect what happened. How can I do this differently? And choose in that next moment to make a different choice. Create the temperature in your home and speak things that are not as though they were. This week, I want you to speak differently. This is your homework. Remember, your words create. And I want you to answer in the comments for me. What's one area of your life where you've noticed your words, whether you're speaking life or you're speaking chaos? What's one area of your life? Drop it in the comments. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I'm excited to hear from you. And remember, you are powerful. You are powerful. Your words create. Let's do this and rise to a new level of standard together. Bye.